After the NBA draft lottery was announced, the Phoenix Suns will get the #1 pick of the 2018 draft. With many intriguing prospects from this coming class, there is no question that either DeAndre Ayton from the University of Arizona or Luka Doncic will be the first 2 overall picks. Although Luka hasn't fully decided if he wants to declare just yet, while many experts believe those will be the 2 best players from this 2018 class, others might include Marvin Bagley, Jarrett Jackson, both Michael Porter Jr. and Trae Young, and certainly every top prospect probably consider themselves as the best player. But I believe Mohamed Bamba out of the University of Texas will end up being the best player in this 2018 draft class. How's it going, guys? My name is Wilson. As the NBA draft is just a little over a month away with a lot of promising prospects, some can turn out to be transcendent future superstars, others can be decent role players, a few will end up being huge busts. In almost every mock draft, the 7-foot Bamba is anticipated to be selected between 4th and 8th overall. Even though Ayton is the more polished and better offensive player, as of right now, with Bamba's upside and versatility, I believe the New York City native can become a special big man who will be a game-changing defensive anchor and the best player out of this year's draft class. The extremely raw Bamba has all the tools to succeed, especially in today's NBA, known for his incredible length, rim protection, amazing athleticism, ability to run down the floor and knock down the three. Bamba has all the ability to excel in all aspects of his game as a generational type big man. His presence down low will be a nightmare for opposing teams due to his ability to contest shots with an astonishing 7'10" wingspan similar to Rudy Gobert, who will likely win this year's Defensive Player of the Year, as Rudy is the most likely comparison for Bamba. With very identical skill sets defensively and measurements, the 20-year-old big man is way more polished than Rudy was in 2013, as the Frenchman was selected 27th overall by the Denver Nuggets. After 3 years in the NBA, Gobert has earned the recognition as arguably the best defensive big man in the league, especially with his length a nightmare for opposing teams. Just like Rudy, Bamba has a knack of always being at the right place at the right time. With his wingspan bothering perimeter players, his speed will allow him to recover when getting beat off the dribble by big-time superstars, and being able to alter shots similar to Gobert without having to leave his feet separates him amongst others. Bamba's insane length of his 7'10" wingspan is the longest recorded amongst first-round picks this century, with Gobert at number 2. Unlike other disappointing bigs in the past like Eddie Curry or Kwame Brown, effort and adversity was never an issue with Gobert, similar with Bamba's work ethic, as Mohamed recently had a workout with the legend Kevin Garnett. In a January article from The Ringer written by Kevin O'Connor, NBA scouts and executives were impressed with Bamba's mentality, who even attended the Sloan Sports Analytic Conference twice and tends to respond to challenges, where in a December game against Tennessee State, big man Christian MacLeod looked like Shaq at times against him. Before Bamba turned up his defensive intensity and would often brighten up his energy when his team needed him most. Averaging nearly 4 block shots in college, there were 9 games where the former Longhorn had 5+ rejections, while his hands reaching almost as high as the top of the backboard. While big man DeAndre Ayton is more NBA ready and will likely produce better numbers in his first 2 seasons, Bamba is more of a risky choice for right now, but is the better defensive player, more athletic, and has the advantage on quickness. Although Ayton is clearly the most physically gifted prospect, standing at 7'1", weighing over 260, jacked out of his mind, but struggled defensively, especially in the NCAA tournament, as Buffalo was able to constantly get to the rim with his help defense being late. Does not have the shot blocking instincts like Bamba, given how athletic he is. With his defensive concerns, DeAndre is better than Bamba on the post, but Mohamed can play above the rim just as good as Ayton, stretch the floor, knock down threes, can run the break, finishing in transition. Ayton also struggled to contest shots, stepping outside against perimeter players, which can be a huge concern in the NBA. His shooting form also raises a huge question mark. Perhaps his stroke will be different in the big leagues, but his shooting mechanics in college was kinda weird. A few of Bamba's flaws includes his slim 225-pound frame, not as physical as Ayton, avoids contact at times, needs to bulk up, hit the gym, do some squats to stay balanced, but it'll develop over time. At the very least, when the 7-footer fights for rebounds, his long arms will allow extra possessions for tip-outs a la Tyson Chandler style. Bamba's college coach Shaka Smart had high praises for his former center, even comparing his offensive skills to Joel Embiid. I know you guys might think that's a stretch, but remember, Joel wasn't that polished at Kansas, was even less productive offensively in college than Bamba was, both having similar stats their freshman year per 40 minutes. Fast forward 3 to 4 years later, you see what Embiid is doing now with the Sixers. Smart strongly believes Bamba can be that good. JoJo is considered a solid 3-point shooter, while at Kansas, he only attempted 5 threes, making one of them, while Bamba connected on 14 of 51 treys. Looking at their shooting form, the former Longhorn looked like he had the better stroke than Joel in college, and his mechanics will continue to improve over time. Remember, Embiid is already 24 years old, missed his first 2 seasons due to injury, while Bamba just turned 20. When Embiid wasn't cleared to play to start the playoffs, the two watched film together for a couple hours, with Joel giving him plenty of good advice, including some cheat codes and tactics on offense on how to draw fouls. While working on his game to prepare for the NBA, Bamba trains in Los Angeles with Drew Hanlon, a former college player who also trained with Embiid, and amongst other elite prospects, working on those low post moves, mid-range fadeaways, spin moves, shooting stroke. You see a big man with all those qualities, man, you know he'll be good. The Harlem native clearly shows a lot of upside and promise. If he continues to work on those skills, whew, there is simply no stopping him. Rudy Gobert and Tyson Chandler never had that type of skill set in their game. The fadeaways and the jumpers he's working on in practice reminds you a lot of Embiid and Kevin Garnett. Watch how Bamba gets up. His arms are literally on top of the backboard. With that crazy extension, he is the perfect big man for today's NBA small ball lineup. Set him up with a point guard like John Wall, it will be just like Lob City 2.0. Not many 7-footers in today's NBA can play above the rim like that, while blocking shots at an efficient rate, running the floor, bringing the total package as a two-way player. Although we won't fully know who actually ends up being the best player in this coming draft, I have a feeling a couple teams will pass up on Bamba, a generational type talent as a center with unlimited potential. But if he somehow falls to number 9, the Knicks will have to highly consider selecting the hometown kid, but unfortunately, that seems too good to be true. We can look back 5 years from now to have a clearer picture of what these upcoming rookies will become. Many critics also quickly judge others as rookies, labeling certain players as a bust, which is absolutely ridiculous. Criticizing guys like Markelle Fultz and Lonzo Ball because they got off to slow starts, while those 2 to 3 years from now can become top 20 players. Teams also need to be patient as young players continue to grow. Mo Bamba might not be one of the best rookies right away, but 3 years from now, I can envision him being one of the top big men in the NBA. I predict the New York City native will average right around 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 block shots. In his prime, will be on first team all defense at the very least if he continues to put on the work. No question about that. Thank you so much for watching this video. As the 2018 NBA draft is quickly approaching, I'll be making more videos on upcoming rookies and who I believe will be superstar players and the ones who will be big disappointments. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, NBA predictions, and anything basketball that would interest you. If you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to my channel. You will absolutely love it. See you next time.